Hello, Moline High School. Welcome to your Maroon Mindset lesson for March 11th, 2026. We've got a lot of updates today, but then we're going to focus on ACT and pre-ACT test prep. So the first thing we're going to talk about is counseling department updates. Seniors, make sure that you are on track for graduation and your credit recovery is good to go. Monitor your grades, attend night school if you need to, do what you got to do to get graduated. Also, seniors, FAFSA, the free application for federal student aid. It's a mandatory graduation requirement. You either need to get the FAFSA completed or submit your opt-out form. If you have any questions about that, you can email your counselor. The next update we have is that the Kindness Club is selling fidget toys during lunch today, tomorrow, and Friday. The large one is $2, small ones are $1. This is an example of what they look like. Oh, sorry, the sale is during lunch. Forgot that part. The small shamrock will actually be green and the horseshoe with the coin will be gold. So let's support the Kindness Club and purchase fidget toys. Now we're going to talk about the Battle for Blood. So the Moline High School blood drive is called the Battle for Blood. On March 20th in the BPAC lobby, we will be having a blood drive. Our goal is to help Moline beat UT and Rocky. On the next slide, we're going to actually watch a quick video about the Battle for Blood this year.
This March, 3 rival Quad City high schools are facing off for the first annual Battle for Blood Challenge. Rock Island High School, Moline High School, and United Township compete to see who can get the most blood donations and who will take home the Battle for Blood trophy. Schools can earn bonus points by booking the most donors ahead of their blood drive. First up, Rocky on March 5th. Then United Township hosts their blood drive on March 10th, and closing out the challenge, Moline High School on March 20th. You can support this challenge by donating at any Quad Cities Impact Life Donor Center, credit your favorite high school, and help them earn their life savings grant. To learn more about the challenge and how to support your favorite high school, go to bloodcenter.org/QCBattle. Let's get ready to battle for blood.
Okay, so that's super exciting that we're doing that competition this year. So this is the flyer. The flyer will be located in your grade level Google Classroom, along with the link to sign up and more information about Battle for Blood. Now we're going to talk about Pi Day. So Pi Day is always a fun time, especially for the math department. They love Pi Day. It is celebrated on March 14th. 314 in honor of the mathematical constant pi. This is what pi looks like, approximately 3.14. It was founded by physicist Larry Shaw at the San Francisco Exploratorium in 1988. It became an official U.S. holiday in 2009. Some of the traditions for Pi Day are eating pie, reciting digits of pi, and celebrating Albert Einstein's birthday because that's also his birthday. So for Moline High School to celebrate Pi Day, we are going to celebrate on March 13th, since the 14th is a Saturday this year. So students, you can go on the hunt and find one of 150 pi symbols that will be hidden in the dean's or attendance office, the library, the counselor's office, and in the hallways. If you find one, write your name on the back of it and turn it into the main office for a treat. Kind of some of the rules: we want you to limit yourself to finding 2 pi symbols so that everybody gets a chance, since there's only 150 of them, and your name will be entered into drawing for gift cards. The deadline to get them in will be the end of the day on Friday, and then we'll do the drawing next week. So on this next slide, this is what some of the symbols will look like that you will be looking for. So they have the pi symbol, says Happy Pi Day, and they'll be colored in different colors. So we're super excited for Pi Day. Also, look for what the t-shirts the adults are wearing. We have a fun Pi Day t-shirt coming out on Friday. Now let's get into our agenda for today, focusing on the ACT and the pre-ACT. We're going to talk about what it is, when it is, and how you can prepare for it. So the ACT is an entrance exam used by most colleges and universities to make admissions decisions. The ACT is given to juniors, and the pre-ACT is given to freshmen and sophomores in order to prepare for the ACT. So the purpose is to measure a high school student's readiness for college. It provides colleges with one common data point that can be used to compare all applicants. Colleges admissions officers will review standardized test scores alongside your high school GPA, classes you took in high school, letters of recommendation from teachers and mentors, your extracurricular activities, admissions interviews, and personal essays. So again, the ACT is just one data point when you are applying to colleges. So what is the ACT and the pre-ACT? So there are 4 subject areas: English, reading, math, and science. The test duration is 2 hours and 55 minutes for both the pre-ACT and the ACT on the multiple choice section. The ACT with essay is only for the juniors. You will not practice the essay, freshmen and sophomores, but juniors, you will have to do an essay. So your duration is 3 hours and 35 minutes. And then the scoring of the ACT. It is on a scale of 1 to 36, and each section has its own composite score, and then you get a overall score also. And then there's a separate score for the writing test. So when is this happening? So on Wednesday, March 18th is the pre-ACT for 9th and 10th grade. So 1 week from today, next Wednesday, 9th and 10th grade must be at school by 8:10, and testing will conclude around noon. What do you need to bring that day? You need to bring a charged school issued Chromebook and bring your student ID. And then some important rules are that cell phones and all other electronic devices will be collected before testing begins and returned after all students in the room have completed their testing. Finally, 11th and 12th grade, you will have a virtual learning that day. So you will not need to attend. You will have assignments posted in Google Classroom. All right, so now we're going to talk about juniors. You are going to be taking your ACT on Wednesday, April 8th. That is the Wednesday after we return from spring break. So spring break actually goes through a Monday this year. So we have April 6th off. You return to school on April 7th for a regular day. And then Wednesday, April 8th will be the ACT testing for juniors. Juniors, you must be at school by 8:10 a.m. that day, and your testing will conclude around 1 p.m. Again, bring your charged school-issued Chromebook and your student ID, and the same rules are going to apply. Cell phones and all other electronic devices will be collected before testing begins and returned after all students have completed the test. And then 9th and 10th grade and 12th grade, you will have a virtual learning that day. So 9th, 10th, and 12th, you do not need to attend on Wednesday, April 8th. You will have assignments posted in Google Classroom. So how to prepare for your ACT or pre-ACT. So balancing your content knowledge and your mental and physical well-being is super important. So for content preparation, when taking a test, most people worry about the content, what is on the test. And it is really important to prepare for that. But it's also important to prepare your mind and body as well. So we're going to talk about both. Mind and body preparedness. Eating. Eat as much whole food as possible. You need to limit your sugars and processed food. Eat breakfast the day of the test. I know, excuse me, many high schoolers feel like they're not very hungry in the morning or they don't need to eat, but it is super important to get some food in your system before you start testing because it can be a long day and you're going to find yourself super hungry. We will provide some snacks, but it's really good to have something solid in your stomach. And don't just fill up on sugar and carbs. Make sure that you get some protein in your breakfast. It makes you feel fuller longer. Again, like I said before, we're going to offer snacks to continue to fuel your brain and body. But if you're eating well, your brain functions so much better. Sleep. Sleep is super important. Get sleep, not just for the test, but everybody needs a full quality night. Aim for 7 to 8 hours of sleep a night. Get off those phones too, side note. Put those phones down, put those phones away, get some good sleep. Get off screens an hour before and create a cool, dark environment. That's really helpful to get a good night's sleep. And a routine is super important as well. If you get in a habit of getting to bed on time and getting your full 8 hours of sleep, you will feel so much better and your mind will function super awesome. Exercise, everyday movement. Incorporate moving into your routine. Go for walks after school and when the weather is nice, and focus in PE, moving that body. Find your own type of workout. It doesn't need to be hardcore. You don't need to go to HIIT classes and do all the crazy stuff. You can do yoga, you can do Pilates, just walking, moving around with your friends, playing games. Any type of movement for your body is great. So the winning combo is eating a balanced diet, keep moving, and get decent sleep, and you'll be totally prepared all the time, not just on testing days. Okay, now we're going to talk about how to prepare for the content. So room assignments for the pre-ACT on March 18th will be posted on Monday, March 16th. So starting Monday, 9th and 10th graders need to look for the list of room assignments posted so you know what room you will need to report to on Wednesday. You will be using TestNav to access the ACT and the pre-ACT. To access TestNav, you must log out of your Chromebook, so you get completely out, and then you go to your apps down at the very bottom. There's a picture there, and select TestNav. So juniors, you're going to click on the ACT, and freshmen and sophomores, you're going to click on the pre-ACT. Sorry, don't look at the purple arrow pointing to Puerto Rico. We are not Puerto Rico. Actually, I think that says Puerto Rice. We're going to ignore that one. You're going to click on the pre-ACT. Okay, so how to prepare. Accessing practice tests. So when you get onto TestNav and you see this, there's practice test underneath the sign in. So when you click on the practice test and you go to this screen, you're going to see pre-ACT 9, pre-ACT 10. And those are the practice tests. You're going to choose your grade level, like I said, and then you can do the practice test there. We're going to actually also work on watching a video. We're going to watch a video next that's going to focus on what the juniors look like for theirs. So I'm going to get out of my camera for now and we're going to watch a video.
And the first time that you log in, you're going to have to choose ACT. So I'm going to go ahead and make this full screen and select the ACT. And then what you're going to do is work through the practice test to help you feel more confident and comfortable in the TestNav ACT site. So if we click on practice tests, you'll have a choice between any of the big subject areas. I'm just going to choose English. They're all set up the same way. When you choose English, you're going to select timed because this is going to give you an idea of how the timing situation works in the TestNav app. So here you'll see that there are some directions. You'll want to read carefully through those directions and press start. You don't have to add a name. You can just continue as a guest since this is a practice. And then you'll start to see how it will look on test day. So I'm going to press start. You'll notice that there is a timer that's counting you down for the amount of time you have left. That's how you can kind of keep track of what's going on. Up here as well, under the drop-down menu, you can change the background and foreground color to something that you feel is a little bit easier to read. So you might want to take some time before the test to decide which of those work for you. So inside the test, there are some things that may help you when you're taking the test. The first is the answer eliminator. It's the big X at the top of your screen. When that is selected, you can cross off answers that you know are not correct. If you need to remove an X, you just press it again and the X goes away. When you're ready to answer the question, you have to switch back over to the pointer to answer the question. Another tool that's in here that might be helpful to you is the line reader mask. This will allow you to sort of focus on the passage that you're reading line by line. Some people do like that. To turn it off, you just go back up to the person icon and choose hide line reader mask. And you'll also want to note that there are scroll bars that you have to use to scroll down through the text. Another tool that might not be obvious is that there is a highlighter tool built into the TestNav platform. To access it, all you have to do is start highlighting text and the highlighting options come up. You can use this in both the passage and in your questions, which are above the box, and even in the answers to the right. For any of the reading passages that you get, there will be paragraph numbers listed in the middle in brackets, and that's how you may be referred to a specific area of the text when you're answering a question. Next, as you're navigating through the test, you'll notice you'll be doing that here with these arrows. You could also use the review pane. When you have answered a question, the orange dot next to it goes away. So you'll see here I'm on question 4, but I forgot to answer question 3. So anything that's been answered does not have a dot next to it. Through the test, a lot of times test takers will get to a question that they're not sure about and they think they might want to come back to it later. A good way to indicate those questions is to use the bookmark tool. When you've bookmarked a question that you'd like to come back to, under the review pane, it adds a bookmark for you. And at the end of the test, when you're ready to submit, you can see all of those questions on the final answer list, and you can quickly just access that question to review it before you submit all of your final answers. When I'm ready to submit my answers, at the end of the section, there will be a little review button here. It will show me the ones that I have answered. The ones that I have answered will not have a dot next to them. Ones that I need to still answer, if I missed any, will have the dot next to it. So I can just jump back to that question to answer it. Okay, when I am confident that I've answered all of my questions and I've done the best that I can, I'm just gonna choose Submit Final Answer. When you're finished with that practice, you can press Sign Out, choose Back to Sign In, and then you can hop back into other practice tests if you would like to take other practice.
Okay, guys. So there is a lot of stuff inside of the practice tests. That video was a little bit more about how you can maneuver through it, but you can actually do the practice test to practice the content. Also on the Moline High School website, and I'll have this link also in the grade level Google Classroom, there is a link to the Moline High School library Media Info Hub resources. And on that link, you will find other practice tests for the writing portion. So there is that as well. So our activities for today, practice tests and mindfulness. If you have some time, I know this is a little bit of a longer video, but if you have some time today, you could go in and look at TestNav, do some of the practice test, looking at the test tools, being a little bit prepared for that. And then I also prepared some mindfulness stuff. So one of the best things you can do for yourself to prepare for testing or when you're feeling out of sorts is mindfulness. Mindfulness is a way to bring yourself into the present and calm your mind and body. It helps with your self-awareness and gives you a clear mind to focus on what you need to do in the moment. So I have these resources. It's in a document form with links. It's in your Google Classroom. You can look through the videos and the websites, the YouTube videos. My favorite mindfulness activities are box breathing and 4-7-8. Those are another breathing exercise. I love breathing exercises. It helps to calm me down. I like to do it with students to help them just refocus and get your breathing under control. Alrighty, everybody, that is all I have for today. I will see you again, not next week, because we will be doing the pre-ACT, but the week after. Have a great rest of your week, everybody. Bye-bye.